In this lecture, we're going to work on the index template. So far, we've been focused on the style.css file. The job of the CSS file is to store information on our theme. Let's shift our focus to the index.php file. It's the second file required by WordPress for officially registering a theme. The purpose of the index template is to display content. If we look at the front side of our site, it'll be completely empty. It's because the index template is blank. Let's open the index.php file in our theme. We have complete freedom over the content of this file. We can add whatever we want. Whatever gets added will be displayed on the site. For example, let's add a pair of h1 tags with some dummy content. Next, let's refresh the page in the browser. The content from the index template appears on the page. WordPress will automatically load this file for us. It's part of the template system. WordPress does not inject anything into our template. We can prove this by viewing the source of the page. As you can see, WordPress has responded with the contents of our file. Thus, we are given complete liberty with the appearance of the page. At the moment, we are using the old system for creating a template. The new system completely relies on blocks. Let's switch to the new system. Switch back to your editor. Switching over to the new system is super easy. There are two steps for enabling full site editing. The first step is to create a directory called templates in our theme folder. The name of the folder must be called templates. The second step is to create a file called index.html. This file must be placed inside the templates directory. That's it. We've fully transitioned from classic site editing to full site editing. Let's test our site in the browser. Before refreshing the home page, I want you to take a guess. Which template do you think will be rendered on the page? Let's find out. The behavior has completely changed. Unlike before, WordPress will inject the admin bar at the top of the page. If you don't see the admin bar, you're likely not logged in as an administrator. As for the content of the page, WordPress informs us that the template is empty. The index.php file gets completely ignored. It doesn't matter if you have content inside it. WordPress will always check if your theme has a templates directory. If it does, it'll check if an index.html file exists. Our HTML file has priority over the PHP file. Let's try adding some content. At first, you may be tempted to write plain HTML in our index template. However, this is not a good idea. It can break a theme. To better understand, let's look at a demonstration. Back in your editor, add a pair of h1 tags inside the HTML file. The contents of the tag can be anything. Next, let's refresh the page. Perfect, right? It doesn't seem like WordPress has a problem with plain HTML. Not so fast. While the template is functional on the front end, the same can't be said for the editor. At the top of the page, a button says Edit Site. Click on it. After a few moments, WordPress will load the full site editor for the index template. To be clear, the editor is grabbing the HTML file, not the PHP file. WordPress is telling us that the template is broken. Full site editing is very strict. It does not support plain HTML. Instead, it supports blocks. Templates may contain only blocks. Otherwise, WordPress will be unable to process our templates in the editor. Let's try fixing our template. Back in the editor, remove the h1 tag. Next, add an HTML comment with the following code: wp:/site title/. Under the hood, blocks are written with HTML comments. Inside a comment, we must write the name of the block. As for the slash character, this character indicates the block is self-closing. Don't worry about the details. Once we get into block development, the anatomy of a block will make much more sense. Let's try refreshing the page in the admin dashboard. Unlike before, the editor can understand our template. It has detected that we're using a block called Site Title. This block will render the name of our site as a clickable link. Next, let's try refreshing the front end. Same as before, WordPress was able to render the block. Despite being an HTML comment, WordPress handled processing and rendering the page. Admittedly, it is very abstract. However, this feature makes it incredibly easy to build templates. As you can already imagine, building a site involves converting a regular HTML file into blocks. That's what we're going to do. First, we're going to try building our site with WordPress's default blocks. Eventually, we will run into a few roadblocks because our UI will be too complex. Once you start running into problems, it's recommended that you create custom blocks. It's going to be a long but worthwhile process. Let's continue our discussion of templates in the next lecture.